Yeah, it's time to move on. It's time to get going. What lies ahead, I have no way of knowing. But under my feet, baby, the grass is growing. Yeah, it's time to move on. It's time to get going. Okay, so this is not a full explanation of the AiLi battery monitor as you get from Amazon. This is not a full unboxing. I just had an idea about it, wanted to show you a bit about it, especially this. This is the shunt and the controller portion right here. If you take a look at it closely, you don't need to look too closely, but it looks an awful lot like the one that Renogy also sells. But you have to be careful. There's this clear plastic. It's very hard, but you need to be careful because the bolts that go through, actually on this side, the only thing that holds them tight is this plastic part. You need to be careful with that. But what I've seen in one of the videos is actually someone taking the post off, which you can do, and there's the hardware that goes with it, and take that post off, and this is the proper post to go to your battery negative right here, right, and then put your battery post right through it, not making another, so you attach it actually to the battery. The main reason for attaching the shunt directly to the battery post is that it makes a very good connection. It holds it very securely. It omits the need to add an additional lead from the battery post to the post on the shunt, thereby simplifying where you would mount the shunt since it's already mounted very securely to the battery. Well, one of the issues with that is if you notice right here where my finger is, this little green portion right here, this is where you have to get a power supply from your positive of your battery. And if you put it on like this, unless it's hanging off to the edge, or something like that, you've got to come in from the bottom with that. If you're going to use this on the battery post itself, then what I'm suggesting doing is taking both of their posts out, like that, which loosens up the shunt itself. Okay? And then actually taking the shunt and turning it upside down so that, if you notice this green portion right up here, I'll see if I don't know if the camera will focus, but we'll see where the wire goes in. Now that would be up and very easy to get to. This is where you plug in the cord that goes to the actual meter apparatus. But if you notice here, the holes are not going to completely align. If you see, they're not going to completely align. And also, this portion is a little bit further down than the thickness of this plastic piece. And part of the reason I think you should continue to use the plastic piece, I imagine you could just take it like this and hook it up to your battery this way, is especially if you're traveling, the kind of movement that's going to happen this way, jiggling and like that, the only thing that's really keeping it strong are the three parts of the shunt. And it would be better to have this plastic in here, which is why they put it there. This is back the right way, but the plastic in here in order to give it more strength this way. Okay, so again, what I'm suggesting is turning it around like this, but remembering that the bolts are not going to quite line up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mark right here and Dremel tool out a little notch like this so that it will set back in so that it will be completely solid within the plastic portion here. And then when I go to hook it to the battery, if you notice here, there's a little bit, well, let's see. You see a little bit of gap where that's a little bit longer than the edge of the plastic part. I'll put a washer or I'll put some kind of spacer in there because the main connection, electrical connection, is going to be through this section right here. Okay, and then as I say, then I can put the power right up there on that side. So we'll see how that works. And again, this is going to void your warranty. Just remember that, but it is going to connect up better. If you don't want to do that, you can just leave it like that. And you can put it in this way. I would suggest that you put your power cord in first. If it's sitting on the battery like this, I think that's fine to mount it to the battery rather than using these to mount it somewhere else. But if you want to be cleaner about it and want to do it, go ahead and mount this. Has talked about mounting it is mounting it this way to a wall like this, because then you have access to this. So upright this way instead of at this plane, which would be at the same plane as your battery. Okay, so we'll see how that works. Okay, here's a little still photo montage of different aspects of carving out the groove in the hard acrylic plastic mount for the shunt. I highly recommend that you use all safety precautions in doing this, and that you clamp the work and are very careful with your movements there. Okay, so what I found is that this is my negative post, and I've taken out this bolt. Okay, and what I'm going to try and do is feed this bolt through all of this and the plastic. And I don't know if you can see it there, but it's too short, right? So, fortunately, the bolt that came with this, that I took the nut off of, that was like this, I'm going to go down through there, and it's going to be long enough. It's going to be long enough now to keep the plastic in there, and there's going to be enough room. Sorry, I can't really do it one-handed. There's going to be enough room underneath this that it's not going to pinch or push this part that I was concerned about. So I'm going to go ahead and hook it up, and we'll see how that looks. Okay, so right now it's connected, and get down here, get some stuff out of the way. There's a good gap here in between, where I'm pointing right here with my finger. So this is not resting on the plastic or anything. And I've turned it this way so that just so it's easy to get to these things while I'm in here in order to hook them up. And of course, I'm going to put the other part of the ground wire on this lug right here. Okay, so now you'll notice I have my negative lead hooked on here. This is all very sturdy, shaking it around. One thing to watch out for, because there's a gap underneath here now, when you go to put this on the lug will have fallen down a bit. So I have a little shim in here that kept it up in that little recessed area that holds the bolt while you're tightening. And again, because that's plastic down there that's holding that bolt, you don't want to over tighten this because it could crack that. So I don't know what foot-pounds or anything are on there, but anyway, that's what I've done, not too much. And one of the nice things is that even though this is not yet hooked up to be able to read the current, because I haven't hooked up the other power line or hooked up the cable to the gauge itself. But anyway, all of my electronics are working now, so I know I've got good continuity in between here. Like my inverter, you hear it beep, that means it's on. So I have my battery is back in functioning working order, just hooked up this way. So the rest of it I'm going to go ahead and hook up, and you can see the way other people have done installation of this and hooking up these wires and stuff. I'm not going to put that in my video unless I run into some kind of an issue that I want to tell you about. But I'm just going to straightforward hook it up and then go through the process of calibrating the gauge and such. And you can find that information on YouTube. There's some very good videos for that. This was just a unique one about how to hook it up using the plastic and making the indent in it. And I'm very happy with it. So hope it works for you. Catch you later. Far away from your troubles and worries.